Hey guys, Pedro here to do an album review, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about Ravage Machinery, a band from Finland, and their debut album Subordinates of the Mechanism. The album has 9 tracks and it's 40 minutes in length, and this is to me really a death metal album, a pure, brutal, balls to the wall death metal album. Now it does have some sprinkles of thrash metal and groove metal in there, which allows for the album to have really a cool fluidity to it from song to song. Because while the DNA of the band and the DNA of the album overall is death metal, brutal death metal if you will, the addition of thrash metal based guitar riffs or even groove metal styled riffs added some melody to the songs, added a different dynamic to the songs, and added a different style to some of the songs, whatever songs they decided to incorporate those styles. I like that because it didn't allow for the album to become stale and predictable and almost redundant, if you will. Each song really gave the listener something different, a little bit of a different approach, a little bit of a different style. And while they incorporated a little bit of thrash metal and a little bit of groove metal, they never lost track of what their sound was, and they never lost track of that death metal and that brutality in their death metal. So I really like that the sprinkles were really just that, sprinkles. There isn't a single song that you can say, oh wow, this is kind of half death metal or half thrash. No, all the songs are really death metal songs. It just has enough of thrash and groove components mixed in to just give you a nice little blend, to just give you a nice little flavor, but not to remove the style, and it doesn't remove the DNA of the band, and it doesn't take away from the brutality of the songs, especially with the vocals. The gutter vocals in this album are absolutely incredible, just really harsh vocals. Now, some of the songs that have that groove element to it, or that more thrash metal element to it, adds a really cool dynamic to that song. Almost feels to me, certain songs have almost a Lamb of God feel to it if Corpse Grinder Fisher was on vocals. Some songs really have that cool blend of Cannibal Corpse and Lamb of God. So they were able to, while holding true to their DNA, to their sound, to their brutality, incorporate enough elements into songs that when you're listening to it, you're like, wow, that riff could totally be a Lamb of God riff, or that sound really has reminiscences of really early on Creator. So there is enough of that to really get your mind going and get your mind traveling into these different directions without ever losing track of what they are and what they wanted from their sound. They also have some guest vocals in some of the songs in the album, and I really like that because both vocalists in the songs both use harsh vocals, but they're both very different from each other. They both have a different tone to it. So it adds a different element, almost like adding an extra guitar to a song. It just adds a different layer. It just adds something different to the song. It just gives the listener a different perspective on the song, and it just changes your settings. When you're listening to this album, you're constantly readjusting your ears, your mental settings, to be able to adapt from song to song, because they do throw a few little different elements at you. Now, as far as my favorite songs are concerned, I'm going to give you guys 3 songs that are very different, but that really encompass what I just said about the overall structure and the overall feel of the album. The first song is Supremus Deus Machinarum. I hope I'm pronouncing this wrong. You guys know I butchered names. This song is really one of those that is just from start to finish a death metal song, a brutal death metal song with absolutely guttural vocals that just it never lets it go. The DNA of this song is the overall DNA of the album, and that's brutality, that's harsh vocals, that's death metal at its at its core, if you will. So to me, this song is really the song that has true the DNA of the band and the DNA of the album. The next song is Miscarriage, and this one is one of those that incorporates a little bit of those additional influences, if you will. To me, this one really incorporates a lot of groove elements into it. This is one of those songs that certain riffs, certain parts of the song really feel like that Lamb of God style in the way they play the guitar, and the way the guitar sound really comes across in this song. I really like the guitar riff and the melody in the chorus is absolutely incredible. It's so groovy and heavy at the same time, and the breakdown, the guitar breakdown in that spot, in that chorus is just really infectious, if you will. So this is a song that's predominantly death metal throughout, but in that chorus has that influence that really gives the song a completely different dynamic. Almost a melodic death metal song, if you will, but to me, not in the pure sense of the word. To me, the influences on that chorus are more of a groove style metal, which gives melody. Yes, it does give melody to the song, but in a different way. And in a cool way, and with the guitar breakdown, it's just a very cool chorus, very contagious song. One of those that's impossible for you to not really pay attention to it, because while the DNA of it is death metal, that chorus really changes the song, and it changes how the whole song really feels. Last but not least is the Gallows Await. Now, this is a song that also to me had a lot of influences, but this time around was more thrash metal influence, especially in the way the guitar sounded. I really felt listening to this song that I was traveling perhaps back in time, and this would be what Creator would sound like if they were a death metal band instead of a thrash metal band. Because a lot of the guitar sounds in this song really were reminiscent of old, early on Creator, like Pleasure to Kill Creator. And I really like that, because once again, the song's DNA was really death metal with the guttural vocals. But the guitar riffs in this song really give a little bit of a smell, a little bit of a taste of Creator. I also really liked in this song the bass. The bass really comes across in this song. If you're paying really attention to the song, and if you're letting yourself be absorbed by the song, you could really hear the bass line in the background, and it's very noticeable. It really comes across in a very strong way, and it's really well done, because while the song is extremely brutal throughout, that little bit of the thrash metal guitar riff and that bass really allowed the song to have some extra melody, some extra juice, some extra layers to it. I really enjoyed it, really cool. This is a really cool album for the fans of brutal death metal. This is one album that I really recommend you guys checking it out, because it does have some influences in it, but it never loses track of what the album is and what the band is all about. And for those reasons, I think this is an album that I highly recommend you guys checking it out. Now, let me know in the comment section if you guys know about this band, if you heard this album, what are your thoughts? I want to hear from you guys. See ya.